We are living in one, if not the most historical times within the last 100 years. We have generally enjoyed comfort and certainty since the end of the Second World War, until the plaguing of the pandemic that has been going on since the beginning of this year, which has left most of us in a state of fear and anxiety. It's been a few weeks now since we're forced to stay at home for our own good. Some of us probably treated it as a holiday at first, finally having our much-deserved long break from work. Now, the terror of how long it's going to last seems to be daunting us all. Not only that, the thought of what is yet to come is giving everyone a strong sense of insecurity. As we spend longer time in confinement, we are challenged by the effects of being stuck in a quarantine. Our mental health is not an exception from its effects. This could be very challenging as we are forced to approach a new way of living overnight. But we have to be mentally strong during this period of time. In this video, I'm going to talk about 3 different mindsets that we should have while we're constricted by this COVID-19 quarantine. Are you ready? Let's move on. Mindset number 1, focus on the things that you can control. We are bombarded with information all the while. News channels around the world are constantly talking about the virus. Numbers of deaths and people affected are reported every day, which causes a huge paranoia to a lot of us. Staying updated with the current news is important. However, learn to know when you are consuming too much of it. Otherwise, it will just drive you in a state of mental distress. The question is, how do you know if you are consuming too much news? If you're constantly on your phone or TV, checking everything COVID-19 related and trying to come up with different scenarios in your head as to what's going to happen in the next few months, then you are consuming too much news. And if you start to imagine an apocalyptic world after this pandemic, then you have become paranoid. You cannot control the spread of news, real or fake, but you can control how you consume. You cannot control that somebody in your house might be in a state of anxiety or fear, but you can control your actions towards this person. Here are some examples of the things that you can control and the things that you can't control. Here are some things that you can't control. The reaction of people around you, what they say in the news, lose of job, closing of shops. On the other hand, here are examples that you can actually control. Finding a support system, limiting news, finding a new temporary job, or learning something online, protecting yourself and stopping the spread of the virus. In this time, it is important to keep track of things that you can and cannot control. Developing this kind of mindset will give you some sense of security, as you know that whatever happens, you've done everything in your control. This mindset will save so much of your mental energy. Next, let's move on to mindset number 2. Social distancing is not relationship distancing. We have been asked to stay at least 2 meters away from each other. This is an ideal response to stop the spread of the virus. However, if you are a social butterfly, you might find this heartbreaking, as you probably couldn't enjoy your social life as much as before. Social distancing doesn't mean that you have to stop getting to know new people, as there are still avenues online that you could use. In fact, you can use this time to build a list of new friends online that you could meet up once this whole coronavirus is over. This will give you something to look forward to after the lockdown. Don't let the quarantine affect your relationships, as we are social animals and we feel our best when we are surrounded by people that we like. In the meantime, you have to make sure that you are well connected to your family or friends. Having a great support system during this pandemic is important in your mental stability. You should also consider the thought of reconnecting with an old friend from the past. This is the moment that we all share something. We are all experiencing this lockdown. This is the time to be human again, so get on your phone right now and call somebody whom you've lost contact with years ago and genuinely ask them how are they coping up with this pandemic. Alright, let's move on to the last but not the least. Mindset number 3, all is well. One of my favorite films is the film called 3 Idiots. The main character of this film is called Rancho. Rancho charmed audiences across the globe. He has a natural inclination to enjoy the beauty of life. But of course, life is not all a bed of roses, as it is full of adversities as well. The film is a social commentary on the dysfunctional engineering school system in India, fueled by different socio-political issues that drives their students to suicide. Rancho and his friends have to find their way through one of the toughest universities in India. But Rancho stands strong because of his mantra, which is all is well, which he recites whenever he seems to be trapped in a tormenting situation. Now, what's the point of this film in the current crisis? You see, in this film, Rancho shows a hopeful attitude even in times of disaster. This pandemic is causing financial insecurity, loss of a loved one, hasty change or cancellation of plans. If you think this crisis is pushing you into feelings of depression, please check my video on the link below. This is a painful time, but it might help to know that you're not alone in this crisis. We are all on the same boat. We are suffering from collective stress, but it's all going to end like how all the tragic narratives in our history. We will recover. Some might think that this is probably the end of days for us and for our career, but if you adapt this mindset, then it will ease your mental distress. If you find yourself in a dark state of mind, I want you to say this and repeat it to yourself. All is well. After all, everything is gonna be okay. It's just a matter of time. With that, I leave you with a quote by Anthony de Mello. All is well, though everything is a mess, all is well. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell down below so you can see whenever I upload a new video. This is the Modern Sapien, and once again, thank you for watching the video, and I want to say, all is well.